I can't help but wonder. Do I sound like Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City? I often think, like the beginning of those episodes when she talks and then she's like, I can't help but wonder. I really think I have that internal dialogue sometimes because I can't help but wonder. And my mind always is wondering and thinking and curious. I find people fascinating. I find the reasons that we do things fascinating. What we do fascinating. It's all very fascinating. Right or wrong, I don't know. But I don't know. Like, who am I to say if it's right or wrong? I was just thinking, like, have you ever heard the saying, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything? I have never had that hit so close to home than I have this last year. I've heard that whole thing forever, right? But then there's certain things that come along in our life, and for some reason, they'll just hit you differently. You're just in a different season of your life. You've had different experiences. It's like I tell my son all the time, like you have math class, you have to learn how to add, then you do subtraction, then you do multiplication, and it just gets harder from there. And he's like, I don't want to do it. It's hard. I'm like, it only gets harder from here, bud. Like, you have to have the foundation to build upon. And so, like, I grew up going to church and it always said precept upon precept. I think that's exactly how life goes. You have to, like, kind of have to go through the muck, the crap to get to, like, this understanding of the next step and more insight. And then you're able to get more and more. So, one thing though, like, chatting with a friend, and multiple friends, like, this has been like something that's coming up and my personal life, like, too, is relationships and dating and trying to figure out that kind of stuff. And I don't think that just is like when you're dating. I think marriage is, like, to me, like, being in a relationship is choosing that person every single day. Like, it's not, we've been lied to. It is not Cinderella. It is not like, oh, fall in love with your magic prince and everybody lives happily ever after. If only, right? If only. They end the video at that point, so you don't even know what's going on. They don't show Cinderella with kids pulling at her feet and her magic glass slipper is broken and slobbered on, and the prince is MIA and he's in his TV room or holed up on the bathroom in the toilet for hours on his phone. Like, okay, I'm joking. Like, I'm joking. Part true, but part joking. But yeah, like, it's interesting that there's so many reasons why we do the things we do, and sometimes we do things and I don't even think it's like in our head that we don't even know why we do the things that we do. But I do find that it's fascinating, like, just how we work, right? Like, and I have found that it, like, through doing health assessments and through talking with people, to always ask why. I have a nickname as Nellie, but you know what? I'm gonna own it. I am Nellie. I'm nosy Nellie. It's fine. I'm not really trying to interrogate. I'm more just trying to have understanding and to realize, like, ooh, okay, why do you feel that way? That feel like, okay, you want to get healthy. You want to look good in a bikini. What does that mean? What's that going to do for you? Oh, okay. So if you lose 20 pounds and you feel like you look good in a bikini, then you're going to find a partner? Okay. So if you find a partner, like, why? And then we get down to the stem of it, right? Like, the real root of the situation. I have to do this with myself. Ooh, that triggered me. Why did that trigger me? Oh, it made me think of this. And then yada, yada, yada. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I hired a business coach this last year, and it was hard for me. And the real triggers that came up were money triggers. It was not so much that I didn't want to do it, that it was going to be hard, that it was going to be work. It was like, oh, do I want to spend the money on that? Like, that's a lot of money. Do I want to do that? Ooh, but if it's only this much, or can I just put it on this card? Like, so much stuff came up, and I have a financial advisor, and he turned into my life coach. And sometimes I feel like I turn into a life coach, which is totally fine. But, like, in that moment, he was like, Elisha, what's the problem here? And I'm like, I just don't like being in debt. And he's like, okay. And so just to clarify, I got 2 different credit cards with 0 interest and put it on 2 different credit cards. And, I'm like, I just don't like being in debt. If I can't pay for it with cash, then I don't want it. If I can't buy a car with cash, I don't want it. And that's something inside me. It's something that I've grown up with, that thinking, and that's just who I am and what I like, how I operate. And he's like, Elish, you have the cash to pay for this, but to me, like, I didn't want to pull the cash that I had because it was in an investment. And so I didn't want to pull that cash because then, that's not accruing that money, that income. And so I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I got a credit card, and he's like, you have the cash to pay for it. I'm like, yeah, but it feels like debt. And he's like, you're not paying interest on it. Yeah, but it was self-doubt. Boil that down. What it was self-doubt. Because I was thinking like, okay, it's an investment. An investment is something that you get a return on, right? So like you buy a car, that is not an investment. That is a liability. Or liability? You know what I'm talking about. I might, anyway, that might come back to me. I'm like, that's not the word I'm looking for. But anyway, like, it's not an investment. You're a depreciating value. That's what it is. It's not a liability. It's a depreciating asset. And so I'm investing in myself with the intent to get a return on it, right? But the thing I'm investing in is me. And it was like, oh crap, like, okay, if I invest in myself, then I'm going to have to like get some back. Like, I'm going to invest in money. I need to make this money back. I'm happy to report that I did. And so I do think it's really important to have a coach, no matter what you want to do. Even in my own fitness world, like, I have been lifting weights and counting macros and doing all that stuff for years. But I think, like, for instance, if I was ever to do like a bikini or figure show, I would hire somebody, because I need somebody with that experience, with that's been there and gone through that. And then like a business coach, I can do things, but I want someone that's been there and gone through that and to figure out how to make it easier, like, yeah, it's not going to be cakewalk, but like, hey, at least I'm not going to be going down dead ends. I'm going to have like a plan in play. So, one thing that I've really, really recognized is, okay, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So for instance, the money, that was an investment in myself. That was a little bit of self-doubt that came out. Okay, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do it. I'm going to invest that money. I'm going to go all in. And it held me accountable. And it hasn't, like, even through this last year with COVID and stuff, like, probably the best thing I did, because I did that last February and right before everything went to crap. And it kept me going. It literally kept me going. I've seen it in relationships, myself personally, like, not fully like, ooh, I don't want to fully give my heart, or like, it can get hurt. It can get hurt if I'm vulnerable with someone, or, like, you know what, I'm going to work out and I'm going to, like, yeah, I'll buy this, but I'm going to cherry pick that workout because I'm, I don't know, I don't really love that. I can't tell you how many programs I've bought and I'm like, I'll follow it, and then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Or I start like looking at the exercises and I'm like, that's not going to work. But yeah, I paid the money. I paid the money to do it, and I didn't want to follow it because I thought I knew better. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Insane. So, the point I'm making of this is, what's holding you back? Where's your why at? Like, what do you want out of life? What do you want? And okay, question number 1, what do you want? What's holding you back from getting what you want? And maybe it's not even just looking into your health. I can't stress this enough. Mindset. Like, where is it showing up? Because I guarantee it's not just showing up in one thing, it's showing up everywhere. So if you're half going in on everything, you're only getting half the results of what you could be getting. It's a hard lesson to learn, friend. Hard lesson. I'm sorry. I'm still learning it. I wish I could say I was out on the other end of that, but ooh, yeah, it's putting yourself all out there it's scary. It's vulnerable. It's hard. It might not work. It can be scary that you're going to fail and you might look stupid. You might look dumb, but guess what? You might really succeed. You might really find love, like true, deep love for yourself, for if you're looking for a partner, to fall in love with your partner, to like find the dream body that you want, to find the finances that you want, the job that you love, like so many things, right? So many things. It goes into all areas. And then I look at like what do you want? Why do you want it? And what's holding you back from having that? What are those barriers that are holding you back? What are you falling onto? What excuses are you making? What coping mechanism are you using? What do you think is holding you back? Because there's something there. You might not even realize what it is, but you can't know that you have a problem until you recognize that you have a problem. So, this is Elisha Simon, fellow, what should I call us? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, what areas in your life could you look to improve? And sometimes it's just a good place to start somewhere at one step. You can't tackle it all at once. Sometimes is, okay, do I need to work on my finances? Or do I need to work on my health? I can tell you they all snowball into one another. So if you want to improve your relationship, focus on that. Focus on your relationship, and usually, I don't know how lately, but like, and it's just things that, I've turned into like kind of a relationship person, like where I've talked to people about it. And the thing that I find the most is usually it's not like it takes two people to be in a relationship, but you really need to look at yourself. Like, you can't fix the other person. You can't change the other person. The only person you can change is you and how you respond, like what you're doing, how you're responding, how you're showing up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself, you're showing somebody else how to show up for you and how to show them how to love you. When you love you, you're showing them how to love you. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're talking poorly to yourself, if you're, all of these things, it's not up to somebody else to for them to tell you that you're worth it, to tell you that to give you that worth. You need to know your worth. You need to know that you're important, that you have worth, that you have value, and to fully understand that, because I don't think that it's two people coming together to make a whole. I think it's two whole individuals coming together to make something even more positive. Because I don't think you need to each come as half to make a whole. You want to be whole on your own. You don't want to have someone else's love to feel validated and to know that you're worth it. And your relationship, somebody shouldn't make you happy. Somebody can make you smile. Someone can make you laugh. Someone can, add to your happiness. But overall, your relationship should be a happy place, not something to make you happy. So, just a couple thought nuggets there. Have a great day. Just remember, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So, where in your life can you look to improve that and to magnify and make everything better in all areas? Have a great day.